Okie dokie. Well, Matt, welcome back to another episode of Over the Fence with you and me, Matt and Ken. I'm Ken.
I'm Matt, and it's great to be back. And I always love talking to you.
And look, dude, I didn't bring wine this time, and it's already funny.
Sorry.
uh, so you were just talk. Let's talk. Let's start off with Rudy Giuliani's. Gonna do hot takes. Let's talk about Rudy Giuliani's daughter,
Yeah, she did an op-ed
writing
in
a letter
Vanity
to the United
Fair.
States. Yeah, let's hear this. What did she
What's her
say?
quote?
What did
Nothing I
she
have experienced prepared me for the very public and relentless implosion of my father's life. Announcing her, writes Caroline Giuliani, announcing her support for Kamala Harris. Apparently, she's 35. She's a filmmaker of some sort. I don't know if she's done anything.
say?
That's what it says on her
Well, you know her mom.
Wikipedia.
Her mom is named. Her mom is Donna Hanover. She's an actress. She wasn't like a famous. She's like a little Broadway. Did a couple episodic episodes of Seinfeld.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and
Huh.
and the story is when he divorced their mom, the wife didn't know. Like Rudy Giuliani
Yeah, he dumped
divorced Donna
her. Yeah.
on TV. Like she didn't know. He like
What a fucking
so
jerk.
already that family is already having issues. But what up? Did she say anything else?
And it's a whole article. I'll put a link
Oh,
to it.
okay.
You know what? She says, I'll never forget the night my dad told me he was considering becoming Trump's lawyer. I was with him at the Grand Havana Room, a cigar bar at the top of 666 Fifth Avenue, an address too
Oh,
fitting given the unholy alliance my father was about to enter into. Wow.
wow.
So yeah, I'll give that a read. That's worth a.
Yeah, yeah,
My hot take is
yeah.
haha. I love watching the downfall of Rudy Giuliani. I've never seen. I didn't know you could spend that much political cachet that fast and just go broke. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And well, the funny thing is, Donald Trump being a billionaire, you think his billionaire friend would help him, consider he's only in this mess because of his friend.
Um,
But I saw
Donald Trump doesn't have friends.
I saw a documentary on MSNBC, to love with love or something.
Olev
Rachel
Parnas.
Maddow. Yeah, yeah. Rachel Maddow did a document. Rudy Giuliani was all up in it. I mean, he's very much involved,
Oh my God, yeah.
and it's sad. It's really sad. It's just really a tragedy that America's quote unquote mayor. I mean, you got to admit, after 9/11, Rudy Giuliani like had a storied career.
It,
You know,
he look 9/11, like whitewashed all his crimes, all his
yeah, yeah.
stop and frisk. I mean,
Got
people are already whitewashing it, saying, "Oh, he cleaned up, everything," and it's like, it's like
yeah,
saying
yeah.
Gavin Newsom solved homelessness by moving homeless people from point A
Well,
to point B.
and when they talk about it, they forget to talk about the fact that crime in New York was already going down under David Dinkins, the first
Exactly.
African American mayor of New York. Um, then you get Eric Adams come up second after black mayor of New York, and he just really messed it up. Anyway, I wanted to share with you the other night. We did the vice president debate at the college, and I'm not going to name my college, but the political science club, which I'm the co-advisor because clubs have to have a faculty advisor, and my other colleague in my department, we decided we'll co-advise because then that way it's not
Two's better than
all
one.
that
I hear you.
it's less work for both her and me. So anyway, so so I usually do the events because her son is like 10 or 11. She has a minor child, and so we were anyway. So we go through the debate. Toward the end, this student stands up at the political science club watch party, and he starts yelling at the top of his lungs about both political parties, how evil they are, and how that the students, if you're serious about a political party, we should talk about the Communist Party of America. He was because we're against capitalism. He starts about, and for me, I if it was any other year, Matt, I'm okay. I don't care. Say what you got to say. If it was a year that it was, let's
If
say
it wasn't
Barack,
30 days from the fucking election,
well, no, it's not that. If it was Barack Obama and Mitt Romney, it would have been different. I wouldn't have cared. I'm like, whatever.
what made
Mitt
it different
Romney,
about this one?
I don't agree with a lot of his policies, but I
Yeah.
will say this: he's not a megalomaniac. He's not talking about becoming a dictator on the first day. So this guy goes off. And before I knew it, because normally I'm very Zen Ken. Zen Ken.
Represent.
Before I
I
knew
am
it,
salted meat.
I went off like I was like, no. And I think because I was looking around that room and most of the people in the room were people of color.
Right.
Maybe black, Latino, Asian. It was just people of color. And here we go. I know I feel bad because I'm about to bring up race.
Dunk on
The
this
guy
white
who was
motherfucker. Dunk on his ass.
the
Dunk
guy
on
who
this
was
cracker. Do it, Ken.
no, the student who said it was a white student, and I just kind of I was like, look, no, I'm sorry, you're not going to do this. I said this is not the time to do this because you're trying to both sides are the same. No, they're not.
Yeah.
One guy literally said, oh, after Charlottesville, there's good people on both sides.
Yeah, we know who said
One
that.
guy literally had dinner at the White House with white nationalists.
Yep.
You can't tell me that
the other side isn't doing that. It's simply
that they're the same thing. They're not. No, they're not the same. I'm sorry. This time we're not gonna do false equivalency.
Right.
It doesn't work. No. And he was trying to talk about. He was like, but capitalism was what's oppressed black people. I said white supremacy is really what oppressed black people.
Yeah.
But you're right. I said capitalism is oppressing white people too. But this election is not the election for Democrats or people who are leaning Democratic.
You will be electing a capitalist this election. That's what's going to happen, dude. I'm sorry. I'm here with you. Red all the way. But I mean, not Republican red, communist red. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like, but it's not today, buddy. Like,
yeah. Well, and let's be real. You're not getting rid of capitalism in America. I'm sorry.
And also, he's hijacking your event.
Yeah,
that's what bugs me about it. Like, I'm all for stand up and praise communism, go for it. But not at Ken's event when the issue at hand should be what do you think the results on the median voter will be for this VP debate? Whatever.
Well, and we're going to get there in a minute. We're going to talk about the VP debate. We should talk
I want to stay on
debate.
this uni-party idea. Like, I've noticed that it's one of those things, like both sides and uni-party are the same argument from the left and from the right that get you to radicalization. If you think that we have a uniparty, there are aspects of the parties in which they work together. Indeed, they're both interested in power retention. They're both interested in siphoning here and there. You know what I mean? But they don't, even if they had the same goals, even if they're both evil and they had the same goals, they go about it in different ways. So they're not the same. But this uni-party idea and this both sides idea have a tendency to cast a wide net and grab a lot of the politically interested, perhaps, but not informed.
Yeah, no, and I would, and the students in my class, he is in my class.
Yeah,
he's in my class, and I told him, and normally that he does this in class too. He does these little outbursts. I let him because I'm like, it's class, I don't care.
Sure.
And it kind of keeps the class moving and going. It's to me, it's funny. I'm like,
it's fodder for conversation, if anything. Yeah.
Well, it also fosters debate, and some people will push back, so it's great. It forces them to have the debate. So I normally, but to come to this event and to talk like that, I said, no, we're not doing it. I said, because in this world that you were talking about constructing, who's running this world? Who's running it? I said, and I said, in your world where everybody's the same, the person running it, will they be living in a 2-bedroom apartment like the rest of us, or will they be at the White House? I said, because in communist Russia, in China, I don't care. In these communist utopia, somebody lived at the Kremlin, while other people are living in a 1-bedroom apartment. So there's always going to be a hierarchy, and who's going to be in charge, and that's what. And I ended up saying this. I said, look, I'm going to say this to you. I said, because we don't live in the same America. We don't, and I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. We're not all the same, and I know that's hard for people to hear. We're not the same. I said, a black man was just murdered last week by the state.
You can,
And the prosecution literally said, we don't think he did it.
We know he didn't do it.
Okay, there you go. And they still put him to death.
Yeah.
And I was like, we don't live in the same America. So just save all that.
We also
And
haven't made
so,
the progress that I used to profess we've made. I'm sorry. I used to say like, "Well,
yeah.
it's not like 1965." Yeah, it is.
In some cases, it really is.
You can still get a
and
picture of a dog biting a man for nothing.
yeah, well, that's true too. Yeah, but it was very interesting that he would do that. And you're right, he did disrupt the event because that's what the
I
students
don't
were
like
saying.
that's just rude.
He disrupted. I didn't realize I had went off on him until it was over, and I didn't go off like it was very respectful. My students like, no, you. I said, was I rude? They're like, no, you weren't rude. Like you just told him off. Like you told him off. Like you brought facts, and you were just saying that he brought. I guess this young lady was his girlfriend, and she said, well, that was under Biden when Marcellus Williams was murdered, killed by the state. I said, no, that was a state crime. It was done by the state. His name is who was a Republican. I said, and the Republican Attorney General. I said, so I ended up telling her, I said, homegirl, do not come for me. I am out of your pay grade. You
Well, also,
handle
don't make a comment like, well, was she not in your class? She's just his girlfriend?
No. She was just like.
Oh,
there.
okay. Okay, that explains her complete lack of knowledge of civics.
Yeah,
Just,
no,
if she was one of your students, I'd be like, how did you?
Yeah. I told her, I said it's an issue of separation of powers, and it was quite interesting. But like I said, I didn't realize all that I said to the students. Like, no, you were talking about these brown students, and you're telling these brown students to throw away a vote so they can be rounded up. And Donald Trump wins. He's talking about deporting 20 million illegals, as they say, and how are they going to know who's undocumented or not?
Oh, there's no thought process. There's as much thought
No.
process to that as there is to this guy's Communist Manifesto.
Yeah. So I was like, no, you're telling these brown people in here to do that. No, this is not the time. So anyway,
Hey,
we ended up
fledgling communists out there, know that the way to communism will not be, your plan cannot only consist of the end of capitalism. That's not going to fly.
Yeah.
That's
No, exactly. In a society that is built on capitalism and look, let me tell you something.
You're upending the entire paradigm. Like, I'm all for it, but like, what's your plan?
No, but no, it's never going to work because even the poorest person in this country, I call it the guy who during when Obama ran, Joe the plumber. Look,
he wasn't a plumber, and his name wasn't Joe.
It doesn't matter. Hold on. It doesn't matter if he was a plumber or not. Right. The fact is, he really believed he was going to have this dream, this idea, because even though he didn't have it, he was going to have it. And a lot of people think like that. A lot of people think that's
that they'll thrive under the system they're proposing.
That even if they don't have it today, one day, and you could be 60 years old, and that person will still think that. Joe the plumber is now dead. He's passed away.
He did.
And I want to know if he ever became a plumber. Do you ever have that plumbing business?
I don't think so. Because I think he dabbled in Fox News correspondence.
Oh yeah, he was a winner
for a spell.
Yeah, for a small spell, he was a little 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, they brought him up there. They're like, "What do you think?" And he was like, "That's, what you said. I just milk toasted out here."
It was crazy, man. It was crazy. Anyway, well, let's talk about the vice president debate. What did you think? What were your takeaways? Because we tend to take away something different than most people. Most people get their information from news sources, whereas we tend to see it from a different perspective. So what did you think, other than JD Vance pretty much lied his entire JD Vance, boy, you know what, style-wise, he was good.
Yeah, he had that frat boy energy. That's the only compliment I'll give him. Walls did fine.
I didn't feel like he had the frat boy.
Yeah, that frat boy excited to debate you energy. He very much like Steven Crowder, like, oh, prove me wrong kind of fucking deal. The lies were obvious. I didn't think. Well, he did do what I was excited to see, for lack of a better phrase, which was go all in on the Haitian shit. Like, he's just still there. It's so gross, but it's like, it's so weird to see. Like, he's still doing. Like, it's so obvious. Like, it's so obvious to him and everybody in the world that like there's like 8 crazy people that still believe that, and he's talking to them, and it's like he knows that he sounds and is a crazy racist, but he's like, this is what I'm paid here to do, baby. I'm here. And like in that weird area, I respect his hustle. He's just like, I'm here to be gross. And like he really is. And he really was. I thought Walls handled him well. You know, he didn't like go on the offense, which I think we had talked about that. That would have made Kamala Harris look weak, as if she needed some white man to protect her. So I think that was handled well. This collar's starting to make me look like a turtle. And then the thing, and then just personally for me, I know this is not needle moving shit. If anything was needle moving about this, but what I didn't like, there were things Walls missed that I'm going to Monday morning quarterback him from my armchair and say that he missed. Because I did yell it at the screen, so I was on time. J.D. Vance would be asked whatever he was asked and then would just answer a question he'd prepare for regardless of the question. And a lot of times he would just go straight to immigration and just get on the rant of, folks, brown people are bad and they're coming and they're going to rape your daughter, or they're coming for your daughter, And
no, you're right.
And then they were like, okay, Walls, what's your response to that question that wasn't about immigration? And Walls was like, look, so sorry, let me back up a bit. J.D. Vance would be like, they're coming for your daughter. The immigrant horde is coming, and the Harris administration isn't doing anything about it and isn't prepared for it. And Walls would respond, we are prepared for it. We are doing something about it because it's a totally real thing you should be worried about. And that's what bothered me. He didn't go, what do you mean? We're doing he should have said, we're doing border security as needed, and it's not needed in the way you're saying. You're making stuff up to demonize immigrants and shit. Smack him on that. But instead he was like, we are solving that totally real issue you're making up right now. And it was like, fuck, I don't want to hear that. It'd be the same as if he was like running another if he was responding to another lie that J.D. Vance has been perpetrating, which is that not only are the Haitian immigrants eating your cats and dogs, but they're bringing HIV to your community and AIDS. That common. That's an old one. That's some 80s racism right there. And he brought that back up super easy. And it would have been the same as if Walls had said, like, actually, we're coming up with some new drugs to fight black AIDS. It's just like, no, dude, no, that is not how you combat that at all. You don't validate the argument. But that's nitpickery and whatever. That wasn't his,
but it really wasn't Walls' wheelhouse.
No.
I'm gonna be honest. I think he did better than I expected. Really, I did. He did with. I knew style-wise that J.D. Vance was, because J.D. Vance went to an Ivy League school, and he's a lawyer, even though he has never practiced in a. And Walls mentioned that. Walls like, Kamala Harris is the only one out of the four of us that have dealt with border issues, that have prosecuted.
Yeah, that was all good. Yeah.
He was telling Vance was, you got a law degree, but you really weren't a practicing attorney.
Right.
You didn't really practice. You're one of those white boys who get these degrees and don't really do nothing with it, because you had a billionaire benefactor from South Africa who also, like Elon Musk, was a child of apartheid.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of his racism is coming from, even though he has a very
he's saying things he didn't used to say because he's being paid to say them by people who want to, and that's the people that want this dialogue or this in the discourse. For the fact that we're talking about Haitian immigrants still, I'm a little embarrassed that I'm giving it air, but it's frustrating because like all that you said, Walls said, was great defense of Harris and their plans and the administration, but it was not very good defense of the people in question, the people that need defense. That's what bothers me. It's like don't like the Harris campaign cannot come out and say we're coming out and we're going to protect the dogs and cats of Pennsylvania. That's not a good idea. You know what I mean? And they're not doing that, in fairness.
Ohio.
Wherever
the fuck. One thing Vance did say, though, he said the Kamala Harris's economic agenda was a good idea. It sounds pretty good. That's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
And I was like, he gave her a compliment.
He did.
In between all the Harris administration comments, and it's like that was one thing Walsh, I felt like, dropped too. He kept saying the Harris administration, Kamala Harris. She
we are awaiting the Harris administration. It has not happened yet.
Yeah, why didn't she do it? And I was sitting there thinking, I
Because
was
she can't.
sitting there thinking to myself, well, hold on. Why didn't Donald Trump finish the border? Well,
Yeah.
we should not be having any problem at the border because Donald Trump,
I
remember,
thought
he
that
said he's
was
going to have Mexico
solved.
pay for a wall. And
Yeah. I was waiting for those pesos, those wall pesos.
yeah, no, I mean seriously. So Donald Trump, when he was president, didn't do his job. He didn't do a lot of things. And
No.
but one thing also we got to give Walls too. He reminded the American people when Donald Trump left the White House, the economy was in a tank. Americans were dying. I was glad he did that. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
because that's the only thing too. When they talk about, when they talk about, when they talk about the economy, the right, they forget. Yeah, we had to come clean it up, like Bill Clinton had to clean up the Reagan Bush mess, like Obama had to clean up the Bush. I would have been saying that because George W. Bush didn't come out and endorse Kamala Harris, but I sure would have said it.
Yeah.
Every Democrat has had to clean up after every Republican administration. So when you're talking about inflation, it's because of you. We're cleaning up your mess. We still clean up this mess. And yet, America's still the best economy in the world. Anyway, that's my outburst.
Can you try to restart your camera? Because we've been on kind of a roll and your camera's been wonky, and I don't know if it's recording properly if you're set. Yeah, let's see if that helps.
Yeah, my camera's fine. I think it's your end.
Probably.
Yeah, go in there and check it later. How is it now?
Now it's just not showing you. Oh, it's so frustrating.
It's your internet over there.
It is my
Mine
internet. Yours is fine. It's I'm technical difficulty.
What kind of internet do you have?
I have Spectrum.
Oh, okay, that's why I have Verizon.
Oh, Verizon. Yeah, it's a French company.
No. So that's what was happening with me when you were doing it.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're better. All right. Well, I think that fixed everything, and you're back to.
Okay.
Oh no, you're good. Okay, yay.
It's your internet, dude. That's what you get when you have Spectrum.
So sorry, everybody.
One thing what I like about Walls too was when he misspeaks, he immediately says, "I made a mistake."
Oh yeah. He's genuine. I dig that about him.
Yeah. No, I mean, what he's like really like a lot of these neighbors around here. Like he can live on this block. He can live on. He really could. Like he would just be like these people here. I told my students that. I was like, yeah. I said, Walls could be live on my block. He's like pretty much most of these white guys on my block.
That's the liberal version of have a beer with him. That's
yeah. Well, I didn't say all that, but okay. Vance, man, when he got on abortion, I was glad Walls had. Well, that was, I think, that part, and when JD Vance never answered a question. Whenever they asked him a question, he would always say, "Well, Kamala Harris."
Yeah,
and I'm like,
he was never there for the game.
But so, and that still doesn't play well. And I don't believe in polls, but they were saying amongst independents, they were saying Walls, even though he style-wise wasn't probably the best, but based on because he at least brought up facts and policies, and he we know what Kamala Harris's economic plan is, what they want to do to get people in houses. Donald Trump's plan is to round up 20 million, because in their minds, 20 million undocumented people are the reason why you and I can't buy a house.
Right. It doesn't
not
make
the
it.
Wall Street,
yeah.
Not the Wall Street bank.
Not any of the actual factors. This is why I don't understand the undecided voter, and I loathe.
I think that's a bunch of bull.
What is that? There are undecided voters, or that?
Yeah.
That there's so you just think they don't exist?
No. I think is that they're not the people. So first of all, when we're seeing these polls, one group they have not been polling is young people, because young people
you don't have to.
Because polls are done now. They'll call your cell phone, but young people don't answer their cell phone.
Yeah. Also, that block will fuck, like if you get an honest poll from the polls that exist for young people and going blue, there. I mean, there's a demographic of young people going red.
Yeah.
They're carrying tiki torches right now, but that's it. That's all they've got.
Yeah.
So they have to
But
ramp fear in the existing base to capture anything they can.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. My one of my colleagues came up to me. Her son was in my class. Great guy. I love her son. She was telling me, she was saying my son came home one day, showed her his Instagram. It was nothing but white nationalists, like the algorithms.
Yeah.
Not Instagram X. The algorithm was nothing but white nationalism.
I mean,
like
that is their algorithm. Like they promote white nationalists. Make no mistake.
But no, her son would like based on what he looks at, the algorithm, he would be the furthest one from even getting. But they were just.
That's how the algorithm. That's how you're sorted. If you're not engaging in this material, they will send it to you. I get ads for Turning Point USA, Michael Knowles, all these fuckers. I guess I don't get it. It's definitely not based on my viewing history. The only thing I watch are politically are like the Majority Report. Like I'm in a bubble. I'm in a super lefty bubble, and then here comes a Michael Knowles ad. Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
like it's so far afield. But that's by. You don't think it's by design? I think it's absolutely by design.
I know. I said it's done by design.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. My colleague's son. He never looked
right.
And I know her
peppering
son.
him.
Yeah, and she was like, he had to leave X. Like he shut down his X account.
Yeah, I don't see it's like journalists and people that are watching right wing extremists. Right wing extremists. That's who's on X.
Yeah. Well, and I really believe that. That's why X ain't. They said the valuation of X right now is worth like $8 billion. It went from 400 or 40 billion, 44 down to 8 billion.
Well, he bought it. Well, he was forced to buy it for 40
Well, no, because he ran his mouth.
Oh yeah, he was. Well, yeah, he was. So he said he was going to buy the company. He offered a number. They took it as a real offer. He tried to go, haha, it was a meme, and they were like, no, you're buying it.
He literally ran it into a ground.
And it's fucked up. It's an unusable space.
Yeah, it really is. And so I thought that was very.
Or to the extent that it was user friendly, everything people liked about it is dead.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And I never used it. Truth be told, I don't give a fuck about X or Twitter. I never.
Oh yeah, no. I think I did have one, but I never went on there.
I had one. I sent a tweet or two.
I was never a Twitter person.
No, I was like, Donald Trump sucks, and then I just sent it into the ether, and I was like, I did my part. Ha.
Yeah. No. One thing also that bands tried to do was they tried to pivot on abortion.
I sent my family was doing my dad, my sister, my mom, and Natalie and myself were in a thread. And another friend of ours, I think. Anyway, but we're in that thread, and no, this is just the family thread anyway. But so it's all of us, and I sent multiple gifs of ballerinas spinning every time Vance was talking because the pivoting. My man was like, yeah, like Neo from the Matrix. It was amazing.
Yeah, no, and you're right. And what I like what Wall said about that was that. Donald Trump put this all into motion. He bragged about how great it was when he put judges in and overturned Roe.
Yeah.
And he tells us, send it to the states. It's a beautiful thing. And then what I liked was Walsh brought up two women, one in Texas, Amanda Zaroskia, a Texas woman who almost died after complications associated with her 18-week pregnancy. And then Hadley Duval, a Kentucky woman who was impregnated after being assaulted by her stepfather. And he said, then he says, those are horrific. Senator Vance, two wrongs don't make it right. There's not a right in this. And then Vance tried to downplay it. But
what's the second wrong, JD? Anyway, go ahead.
What Walls ended up doing was he brought up the young lady in because last week Kamala Harris and Oprah Winfrey did a sit down with Kamala Harris, and she brought this woman from Georgia, Amber Thurman, her family.
Yeah, she's been making the rounds. I think she spoke in front of Congress too, didn't she?
Well, no. This Amber Thurman died, and so she
Oh,
was a
so
young
she
black,
definitely didn't.
yeah, who died after a long delay in getting procedure to clear fetal tissue from her body after
That's
she took abortion pills.
that's fucking
Um,
gross.
and then Vance said, "I agree with you. Amber Thurman should be alive. Yeah, motherfucker, she should
Yeah,
be alive.
motherfucker, she should be
Yeah,
alive.
but
She's
the guy
not.
you're,
She's.
yeah,
It's
but
so
the guy
frustrating
you're,
because the answer's so simple.
yeah,
It's just like what I can't stand about this back to the states argument is they're like, we gave it back to the states so the people can decide, but they
it's a,
already could. It
oh
was their
stop, whatever,
ah,
stop. Don't
it's
say
so fucking
back
annoying.
to, it, you
But
know what? Fuck that. Back to the states. It's not. That's not what it's about.
that's what I
Let's
mean.
go.
I know what they're
It's
doing. What I mean is what I hate about.
it's a
Oh,
Jim. It's a Jim Crow.
right, right,
It's Jim
exactly
Crow.
that. That's what I
Let's
hate
call it
about
what
it.
it is.
Is
I'm tired. No, but nobody talks about that.
That's what
All,
that's what gets me mad. Is every time one of these guys says, "Well, he sent it back to the states," they move on.
yeah,
They never
Jim Crow.
respond with, "I'm sorry."
It's Jim
Before
Crow.
it was back to the now when it's at the states, the state decides what happens with a woman's health care. Prior to the repeal of Roe, prior to Hobbes, it was the individual's decision. So in which way have you increased freedom? In which way is the government less involved? Please explain that aspect. Forget the theological aspect, forget the right to life aspect. Just tell me how, on the aspect of adding and removing freedoms, you've added some outside of removing some. It's fucking horseshit.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. It was crazy, man. It's frustrating. For me, it's frustrating because nobody ever talks about that aspect. No, this is Jim Crow. This is all Jim Crow.
That's exactly
Donald
what
Trump
it was.
uses Jim Crow tactics. That's why we need to keep pushing Project
It
2020.
is exactly that. That's a great analog because
it's a roadmap. It's a Jim Crow roadmap on how to
control women.
Make America great again. Make America great again for those white people. Because Bryan Cranston, who played on he
Breaking
did
Bad.
Malcolm in the Middle, but then
he was Breaking Bad. He was also the dentist on Seinfeld. I know where BC's been. I never watched Malcolm in the Middle, so he's Walter White and he's the dentist from Seinfeld. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, well, he said he started asking his friends who were people he knew who were saying, "Well, we need to make America great again," and he said, "Well, tell me when it was great." And he said, "And when you say that, would you say that in a room full of black people?"
Right. And they're like, "Well, I'm never in one, so."
Yeah. So I thought that was very interesting. Anyway, the debate. If we're talking about substance, Walz won that debate hands down. He won it. But if we're talking about style wise,
well, what's okay when we're talking about winning style? Like, I think each person won for their party. Walz needed to play it just like that, and that's how JD Vance is paid to play it. So as far as obviously substance that JD has none, but as far as style, I don't think there's a clear winner because there's not a clear loser either. They both did exactly their job.
Yeah. No, and like I said, I didn't think Walz was going to. I was like, Walz is not going to slot.
That's not his job.
And the thing was, remember now, in the first 10 minutes, they shut off the microphones
because they were already
Margaret
at each other.
Brenneman, well, it was JD Vance still running his mouth, and Margaret Brenneman said, "Nobody can hear you. We shut off the microphone."
I love that moment.
Then that's when it became Midwest nice, and then also JD Vance when they corrected him on the Haitian thing.
That's when he got mad.
Said, you guys said that you guys weren't going to do any fact checks.
You said you weren't going to tell me to tell the truth. You promised I could lie freely. You guys. Yeah. What a fucking bitch. Also, I like Walz did hit him good. It's an internet moment. Now this is going nuts about it as they should. That clip where where Walz is like, and he did it. It felt so extemporaneous. It felt so like he would off the cuff. He was just like, hey, what do you just say? Like, did he win the election or not? It was a nice little moment. And then JD Vance was thoroughly unprepared.
But that came at the end. Well, Kamala Harris try to take away people's first.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah. He was like, what about Twitter and fucking?
Yeah.
What a dipshit.
Yeah, he was an idiot.
And incidentally,
Also,
everything he was mentioning was exactly what the Trump campaign had done to try to get. If you don't know the issue that J.D. Vance was talking about, for someone watching, J.D. Vance was trying to say that his response was trying to say that the Harris campaign had done censorship because they were trying to stop things from being released about Hunter Biden. That's sort of true in that if it's censorship that the private company Twitter's own policies prevented what they were releasing, which was pictures of his genitals, then yeah. If saying you can't release a civilian's genital pics onto a social media platform to harm their father who's running for office or is in office, yes. Then yes, they censored that. Yes.
Yeah.
First Amendment violation. Everybody get mad right now. So
Yeah,
that was his comeback to why are you fucking lying about Haitian immigrants? What a jackass.
That wasn't just it either.
Oh no, there's so much more, but like
but it was also the COVID part. They were saying that the administration was trying to squash dissent over COVID. No, they were not.
That's the specific talking point, though. They because he works for Elon Musk, he's going to bring up, ooh, you anti-Twittered me, so you wouldn't let us show Hunter Biden's balls. What the fuck's wrong with you?
And I Twitter's a joke, or X, whatever they call it, stupid shit.
If you would like to see a picture of Hunter Biden's genitals, look no further than the floor of Congress. You can C-SPAN it. It's a matter of public record. It's in the Library of Congress video of Miss Marjorie Taylor Greene holding up pictures of Hunter Biden's dick on the floor of Congress. So we're already there, baby. It don't even matter.
You mean bleach blonde, butch body?
Butch body, bad built. Fucking. and
Jasmine Crockett, boy. Jasmine Crockett.
Because this rabbit hole keeps getting deeper and deeper, she's not even the craziest bitch in the motherfucker anymore. It's not like there's Lauren Boebert.
You know what? I know. Was she called Laura Loomer? That girl, she's ugly too. Laura Loomer, was she called her racist? I was like, wait a minute, Marjorie Taylor Greene calling somebody a racist?
Bro, yeah. It's like Hitler calling someone genocidal. It's like, well, I mean, jeepers.
And you know what? Also, what happened to Laura Loomer? We haven't heard from her since
I
they
think
were saying that she was
whatever she was doing for Trump has done being done.
Oh, did you hear about Melania Trump? Since we're on a Trump, did you hear Melania Trump is like in favor of a woman's right to her body autonomy? Like,
did you know there's contradictions in the Bible?
She put in her little book. No. She has a book out. She has a book.
Oh, and, that's a must read.
Anyway, yeah, she has a book. You know, it's Michelle Obama's book that
she put. Yeah, it's it's got in Sharpie. It just scratches out Michelle's name. It says Melania. They both start with M. I can use it. Fucking.
She's gonna call it belonging.
Yeah. Together we get up.
She's gonna add an ing onto belonging.
Belonging.
She'll just keep adding over. It's a little different.
But Melania's book tour. No, this is the first one I wrote. It's called "Why Does the Caged Kitty Sing?" And like. This is my next book, The Prunes of Wrath. And
yeah, no, look. And so some people are saying she's doing that to make Donald Trump. So let me get your take on it. Her coming out doing that, some people are saying that they're trying to humanize Donald Trump and trying to show that, see, the Trump administration, Melania, who the First Lady has no constitutional role in government, you know, like they're trying to show that they can have diversity in the Trump administration. Other people are saying Melania just don't like Donald Trump and she's hoping he'll lose.
From what I agree to the extent from what I understand about the president. Oh yeah, what I understand about the Trump campaign is that they operate almost in cells. Like they had Charlie Kirk was in charge of the youth college vote a couple years ago and he fucked that all up. But you know what I mean? He'll put a personality, quite literally, in charge of something. So if there is an effort to humanize him, I'm sure somebody in his orbit was like, let's have Melania whatever. Because they are throwing shit at the walls. The only thing Trump can ever say is, immigrants, and Joe Biden's old, because he's kind of a broken record, so they have to play something on CD around him to make him make sense. So yeah, so to that extent, I'm sure it is an effort in some way.
Well, but also,
I don't know how conscious it might
also,
be.
Melania needs Melania also you have to pay Melania too. Melania doesn't go for free. Her rate is.
Yeah, I mean, she's about to be single in a few years.
She didn't do CNN because CNN said, "Hey, we want to interview you for your book." She asked for $250,000. When she went to go speak to the log cabin Republicans, they had to pay her $250,000. So we all know where Melania Trump's going rate is, $250,000. So.
Why is okay? I just think the idea of like Melania Trump speaking to just the idea of the log cabin Republicans is interesting to me. I mean, it does prove that homosexuality is not a monolith.
I mean, it's like black MAGA. I mean, come on, it's like Latino MAGA. I mean, it's all same. It's the same thing, just different groups of people.
Well, there are white homosexuals. There aren't any white black people. As much as some try.
Well, no, but there are black people who are MAGA. But they're also
that's what I'm saying. Is like they'll never know.
But there are also black homosexuals who are also MAGA. So
but I'm saying it's easier to adopt a white supremacist attitude if you're white.
Oh yeah.
They forget that the white supremacists will come for the gays, but
No, I mean, well then, what's Candace Owen, Mark Robinson?
Candace Owen. What I'm saying is no. What I'm saying is the white log cabin Republicans make more sense to me in the white supremacist project than the Candace Owens. You know what I mean? I know that
Peter Thiel is that guy. He's a gay man.
Is he gay? He is gay. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, remember he's the one that was outed. He was outed by that one website that had Hulk Hogan sue.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it. Yes, that's right.
He was outed.
I remember. That's the first time I heard about Peter Thiel. Because I was like, oh, so he got this, not Drudge, was it Drudge Report? No, it's not Drudge Report. What is it?
No,
it's some shit like that. Yeah, and
that went out of business.
Yeah, it went out of business because he was able to slap suit him out, and it was like, it was cool because they were kind of a really bad website and damaging and tabloidy, but it was also scary. I was like, oh, billionaires are like bankrupting businesses because they don't like them. That's scary. And that's the first thing. First time I heard about him.
But it wasn't really him though, right? It was really Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan used Peter Thiel's money. I mean, he just used the Hulk Hogan story as a catapult for all these lawsuits.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah.
It was Gawker. It was Gawker.
Gawker. Thank you very much.
Gawker Media went out of business.
That's right. I mean, the whole enterprise flattened.
Yeah. So anyway, Donald Trump yesterday was indicted again, and Judge Tanya Chutkan basically.
She's the one that's been on his side the whole time. Is that right?
No.
Or is that the other one?
Chutkan, she's the black judge in D.C. that don't fuck with Donald Trump. Don't let Donald Trump.
What's the other? What's the lady who's got his back's name? That judge?
I forget her name.
Good.
I forget her name. Down in Florida. Anyway, we're not talking about her. In fact, Chutkan read it because I guess the Trump people went to Chutkan's courtroom using the same argument they used down in Florida, and Chutkan like chopped that shit up. Said this is not going to fly in my court. Don't bring something.
Don't bring this mess into my house. It's fucking gross.
He said, don't bring this stuff from another jurisdiction, and she basically said because this ain't nothing but shit.
Yeah, I mean it's almost insulting. It's like this is. Yeah. You can't just have me consider. That's right. That's what he did in Florida was bring nonsense to the judge, and then the judge would take it seriously for fucking months. Yeah, that's right. She was like, "Don't do that here."
So was she? Well. Also, just so you know, that case down in Florida is also being appealed, so it hasn't gone away.
Yeah, I know.
But Jack Smith, his only problem was he should have had her removed. I don't know why he didn't do that, but anyway.
I think for optics, if I had to guess, like it would look.
No, he was an idiot. It's like, dude,
okay.
Have her ass removed. I'm sorry. That's why I like Chutkan, because Chutkan don't fuck with Donald Trump. She don't let him walk all over her.
That's a good point you make. What are the bad optics of removing a corrupt judge?
Yeah, I mean he's little. So anyway, let me get the story out. So she released 165-page filing provides the most comprehensive look at the evidence federal prosecutors have amassed in their case which was upended by the Supreme Court's July decision finding Trump entitled to some level of immunity from federal charges. Now, what they argue is that Trump's conduct was private because when you're running for president, if you're the sitting president, so Joe Biden was running for president, he's not running for president as president. He's running as a private citizen.
Right.
So when he's out, so Kamala Harris is really off the clock when she's doing campaign.
Yeah.
She's not. She's a private citizen running for president. She's not the sitting fight, even though she carries the title of vice president, and she uses all the. But again, she has to because somebody would probably try to kill her. She went on American Airlines. So they reiterated the allegations against Trump and revealed new insights into the mountains of evidence that they collected over the course of the case. He literally said, because Mike Pence rejected the Electoral College vote, because Mike Pence wouldn't reject the Electoral College votes. When they said Mike Pence was endangered, he said, "So what?"
That's what I said. I mean, I agree with you, Donnie.
Yeah, it's the 154 page. I try to read all this.
I love it, man. I love how fucking plain and blunt that fucking idiot is. Like they were like, Mr. President, the vice president's in trouble. I don't give a fuck. Bring me another beef jerky.
Spokesperson Stephen Chung, I gotta look up Stephen Chung, criticized the release filing, calling it a falsehood written well, this is what I don't get with them. How are they calling it? It's an unconstitutional witch hunt. What I don't get with them, and this is what I don't get with them. There's literally there's literally a recording of a sitting president asking for 11,800 votes. Find them for me. How is this falsehood? How is this a lie? Like, it's like January.
Because what you don't know, Ken, is because there was.
Hold on. Let me get this out. I got to get this one out. They sit up here and say January 6th, like they were having a picnic at Congress.
Didn't you see the video of what you didn't see? Didn't you? Like, why do you believe your lying eyes? What I don't understand about you, Ken, and liberals like you, is that you see people calmly exercising their First Amendment right to assemble in the Capitol, and or you see someone just asking. I mean, if that person happens to be the president, whatever. But you see them asking where certain number of votes are so they can remain president. Like, what? Are you against freedom of speech, Ken?
He literally said, "Find me."
Obviously, I'm being purposefully obtuse if that's not true. Yeah. If that's not clear.
You know. Yeah, no, it's crazy. So I'm glad Chuck in, and you know they can talk about October surprises. So I think with Donald Trump, there's going to be a lot of October surprises. Also in this thing, Rudy Giuliani spread a bunch of falsehoods about the integrity of the election.
I mean, this is
the
what he does.
Hold on, no, this is the funny part about Rudy Giuliani. He texted somebody to the wrong phone number.
Yes. Oh, I love it. That's so good.
He texted somebody about cheating and stealing an election. He texted them, and it went to the wrong. So some random person got a.
Oh, they said they forwarded it.
Yeah, no, they turned it over to the.
Okay, that is the best poll ever. Think about this.
Yeah.
A right-wing conspiracy nut with agency to further these conspiracies. I understand he's Rudy Giuliani. Yeah. He's ridiculous, but he does still hold power. He has the ears of people. And that fucking moron texted a random American. And that random American went, "That's fucked up." That's good. I like it. They went, "This is wrong. I'm telling the authorities." Dude, that's cool.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Hope.
I'm telling you, man. You gotta watch that documentary with Lev, whatever it is. You gotta watch that.
Ooh.
It's Rachel Maddow's documentary.
Man, I don't
you have to watch that.
Oh.
No, you do, dude, because it was a comedy of error. I mean, it's a documentary, but it's so funny. It's like,
what's she documenting? The
Lev Parnas.
The Lev Parnas thing. All right.
Yeah, you guys.
If it's got that like the smartest men in the room energy, like that Enron documentary, I like that one where people look stupid. I like that.
No. This is like the Three Stooges, and one of Lev's wives or ex-wives, she is funny. She's like the real hero of the story.
Okay.
She was telling him, she was like the
She's
entire
just spilling
time
tea all over the place.
Well, no, it's not even that. She was telling him They don't care
Oh,
about you. They're using you. Like, come. He was like, no,
oh,
Donald Trump. Donald Trump loves me. She's like, Donald Trump don't love nobody but
oh.
himself.
So that's
So
interesting. So he really thought that he was going to
he,
benefit
he,
from this relationship.
he
That's a really interesting insight, in fairness
yeah,
to
no, no,
Rachel
no.
Maddow.
No, Lev Parnoff really thought he was doing a service
Wow.
to our nation. He
Because
really thought he
I
was.
always thought these guys were like, I'll make some cash out of this and hopefully I won't get
Yeah.
caught. But the risk is better than
Well,
the
and
reward. I
well,
didn't
he also
realize that he was like, whoo, I'm
no,
really
but
doing it.
no, no, no. But also because he's Ukrainian. Lev Parnas was Ukrainian, so he really
He
thought he
still
was
is,
helping
apparently.
Ukraine. Yeah. So no, where the betrayal comes in for him is like the guy who tried to kill Donald Trump. Lev Parnas like they were. He didn't realize Donald Trump and them were so in bed with Putin
Right.
that Donald Trump would have sold Ukraine, and Ukraine would have been absorbed back into Russia. There would be no country of Ukraine.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think Putin was banking on the fact that Trump, I don't think, is really clear on the difference between the countries.
Well, no, well,
And
and
you
even
know,
if
in
he
the same
was,
way that Eric Adams doesn't know where the fuck Armenia is or
well,
thought that was a
no, I'm
genocide.
sorry. You know what? Nope. I'm sorry. No, no, no. Eric Adams. Look, I'm gonna give Eric Adams his props, not because he's black. Eric Adams was just smarter than Donald Trump.
Oh,
Eric Adams.
okay.
Look, Eric Adams doesn't get
Damned
to
by
play.
faint praise.
He doesn't get to play ignorant.
Yeah.
Eric Adams was a police officer. Like, do you know the law? You're a freaking police. So when Eric Adams is entrenched with black people around him, trying to use the look, they're coming after the poor black mayor of New York. I love that there was a black guy out there calling him a crook and a criminal.
Man,
Like,
he said, "You sound like Trump. You don't represent black people." Just saying it so plainly, and so, for some reason, every microphone was picking it up. You could barely hear. Eric Adams was like, "Just calm down." He was like, "You fucking dickhead!" Like, it was so good. It was a New York moment, baby.
No, it was funny. It was hilarious. I was like, this guy, not the guy who's yelling Eric Adams. This guy's a fool. All the time you're gonna see all these black people around him. Now I didn't see all the. Now he always had some black people around, like his family, but I didn't always see all these black people. But as soon as he get in trouble, he gonna O.J. Simpson.
I was just about to say, OJ's at what was that? The chicken place, Chicken and Waffles.
Roscoe.
Roscoe's, yeah. OJ's at Roscoe's for the first time.
Yeah, O.J. Mister. I'm not black. I'm O.J.
Exactly.
Okay. Or whatever until you killed your ex-wife and that poor guy, and now you black again, brother. You black.
God,
welcome back.
Welcome back, buddy.
So anyway, I just wanted to share that. I thought that was good.
Yeah.
I was glad they released it because now people, and this is what I tell my students a lot of time. I'm like, just read the indictment. You can read the indictments. Like, read them. Nobody's making no mess up. Like, these are, look, when anybody who lies in this can go to prison for falsifying.
Yeah,
lying.
it's already happened, right? It's happened to
it happened. Yeah,
Manafort and Papadopoulos.
Michael Cohen. That's why Michael Cohen.
Yeah.
That's exactly why he did jail time, because he lied to Congress. You cannot lie to federal authorities, especially when you. And so it's like, and that's why I tell people.
When is George Stephanopoulos gonna interview Papadopoulos? Because I want to see the Stephanopoulos Papadopoulos interview. That's going to be a great.
Papadopoulos was the young guy that was working for the Trump administration.
Yeah.
Another low level.
A proto Lev Parnas. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also if you read the indictment, there's a lot of co-conspirators. There's a whole lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And Rudy Giuliani is not a co-conspirator. He is private criminal. I guess private citizen one.
Private citizen one. Interesting.
And so they have co-conspirator one. I want to know who the including. Oh, these are the attorneys. So, oh wow.
How many of those co-conspirators are going to come out with a book if they don't get jail time? Here's what I saw.
Yeah. So
here's all the stuff I facilitated.
It's crazy, man. It's some crazy stuff. Wow. So anyway, so I wanted to share that. Yeah. I also want to talk about Hurricane Helene, where about 215 Americans have passed away. Half of them were in North Carolina. I mean, look, when it's a hurricane, so it's different than Louisiana, where I blame the government, because we should have like, what is it called? The Netherlands type of dams. Like the Netherlands have dams that are like state of the art.
Work.
we should we should have the same we should have the same thing in the United States because we're the best, we're number one, we're the richest, blah blah blah. You can't blame government for when a hurricane like that goes through. I work with the Red Cross, and look, Donald Trump, first of all, gives a speech, says that the Biden administration didn't do anything, not doing anything.
That's not true.
Well, the governor of Georgia immediately comes out and said Joe
Yep.
Biden has been doing
Kemp
a lot
said
of things.
it. All these people that have
Joe,
no interest in saying anything nice about this
yeah,
administration came out and said super
yeah,
nice stuff.
good job. Yeah, and then Joe Biden called Donald Trump a liar again. He
Of course,
always lies. I don't understand why he lies so much. Yeah, we all know why he lies. He's a liar.
Hurricanes will continue to increase in frequency and
well,
intensity
and
because of climate
and
change. So get used to it, America.
hurricanes can go very deep inland. I was after Hurricane Katrina. I went to the I worked. I was with the Red Cross, so I did Sandy. I did Rita, Sandy, and Katrina. I think I did one more. I forgot the other one.
We talked about this.
But
You were in the Red Cross when I was
yeah,
deployed to Iraq with they attached the National Guard unit to our unit,
yeah,
and
yeah,
they were called I forget, but they were from Mississippi, and they all watched, like on the
your
TV
home.
in the chow hall, watched
Well,
their homes floating away.
yeah. Well, this is the thing
That's
about
also when we watched
hurricanes.
Mission Accomplished. That was
Yeah.
cool too.
Well, this is where hurricanes. The thing about hurricanes, hurricanes can go very far inland. People don't understand that. Like I thought hurricanes were just on the coast. No, a hurricane can go like 100, 200 miles. I was like,
They're
God,
going farther
and
and farther.
it's a wall of water. Like
Yeah,
it is just a wall of water. And so,
water and wind.
yeah, yeah, it's a wall of water. And so so when so people, especially when if people can't leave because they can't afford to leave, if people don't, if some people, because a lot of people won't leave because this is my house and I got to protect my house.
Who's it gonna hit
Look,
first?
yeah,
What did you say when when rich people get a cold, poor people get pneumonia. You
yeah.
know,
Well, that's what I told that student.
yeah, and you can use that for race. You can somebody said it today. They said when America gets a cold, Puerto Rico gets pneumonia. You know what I mean? Because every problem
Yeah,
is exaggerated for the people most vulnerable. So yeah, I'm sure people are.
yeah.
We have to be able to respond to these disasters and mitigate the disasters in the future. All we're barely doing is a response. We are doing no mitigating measures. And so the hurricanes will increase in frequency and they will increase in
Oh yeah.
intensity
Yep.
unmolested,
And
and the word and then
and you're gonna
the
you're gonna be
most
in my thoughts, and you're gonna be in my thoughts and
thoughts and
prayers.
prayers. You better have extra. You better have some extra thoughts and prayers hanging around in your bunker with your 9mm and your can of Chef Boyardee all prepped
Yeah,
up.
no, yeah, no, dude. I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. Because some people just won't leave, and it's like you're like begging them. It's
I
like,
would
please,
well, yeah. If people will evacuate, if we provide them somewhere to go, like,
yeah.
if you I need the American
Well, now
government, and I know it can do this,
we,
to set up a
we were in
place
the
for
Red
people
Cross.
to
Yeah,
be
but
before they ask people to
hold on.
leave.
Hold on. Let's be clear. We do that. That's what. So I don't want to give anybody the misimpression because when I was with the Red Cross,
No,
like
no,
I was
that's
I was a government liaison, but I had to. Everybody in the Red Cross has to know how to work in a shelter.
you are
So
only
we,
empowered to do as much as the Red Cross could facilitate, and organizations like it could facilitate a lot more help if they were funded and facilitated to do so. They
well,
are not,
but
so they
usually,
cannot. So
but
this
but
is not
again,
a dig on them with that.
but no, and that's also not true because in a situation like this, government will fund it. Federal government is going to give because the federal government is not in charge of all that. All the federal government does is give money. That's all they do. They give money. They don't. It's the state, it's the county, it's the municipalities, it's local churches and non-governmental agencies, NGOs as we
I
call
know.
them. That's really
GMOs and NGOs. I always do that.
NGO. I know.
I always do that.
So I just want to be super careful because that student also said the same thing in class. Oh, the federal government is not doing their job.
But that's
Yeah,
not
they
what
did.
I'm saying. I'm not saying
They
government
really
doesn't
did.
do stuff. I'm saying government must do more, and there are preventative measures even
Yeah,
outside of climate change mitigation. I'm talking about like
yeah.
we could have like we. It's not a mystery
Hmm.
which fucking states are close to the coast.
Yeah,
It's the ones next to the coast. So start
yeah,
there, work inland, and there should be. Why don't we have hurricane shelters?
yeah. No, you're right.
Like we
You're right.
got
But
plenty of parking lots, plenty of stadiums. You tell me you can't have a place that's prepped for
plenty,
for a come
plenty
on,
of, plenty of mega churches too.
plenty of man. How about a? Don't get me started. Do not get me started on wasted land. I
No,
don't.
no, no.
A housing crisis in which Pepperdine University exists is a fucking problem for me.
Yeah. Which one?
The big ass grass field
No, no, no.
in
Well,
the
Pepperdine
desert.
wasn't always. Hold on, Pepperdine wasn't always there though. So
I don't give a fuck.
Pepperdine,
There's a big grass field that Pepperdine waters.
Pepperdine. Well, no, no. I want to be clear on that. Pepperdine actually started out in the hood, and then they moved to Malibu. But Pepperdine is where what is?
You're missing my point. I'm talking about wasted land.
No, well, but is it wasted?
That big grass field is a waste.
It's beautiful.
For who?
Beautiful.
It's not
Dude,
even public.
No, no, whatever. It slides down. Come on, man. What are you gonna do on that grass?
More
really
than
goes like
grass.
it's a slope. What are you?
Why is it grass? We live in the desert.
Because we need grass. I'm sorry, we need grass.
What do we?
Yeah, we need grass.
Oh!
I'm good.
We don't need grass there. Nobody can use it or be on it. You can only look at it.
Time is okay where it's at. But, look, I was gonna go to Pepperdine at one point, and I chose to go somewhere else.
They're not letting you back in just because you're sitting here glazing them.
Oh, I don't want. No, I didn't want to go. I once I saw the cost, I'm like.
Now
oh,
you're backpedaling. This is a disaster.
like Hurricane Helene.
Hey, we came full circle like a hurricane. Oh my God, we're amazing.
No, but my whole thing is people need to understand how separation of powers and
yeah, no, I get all that.
How different levels of government do different things because one size doesn't fit all.
Look, my question is, why isn't the vice president solving all the problems?
Well, I'm sorry. My question is, why isn't the black woman vice president?
Well, when did she start being black, huh? That's what I want to know. You tell me, Mr. Ken, when people started being black.
I'm like Janet. I'm like dumbass Janet Jackson. Now you notice she hasn't been talking lately either. Janet got quiet. Janet got real quiet.
Well, I call that poetic justice. Wink. Because she was in a movie with Tupac. All right, whatever.
Oh yeah.
See what I did? I did a reference. I did a thing.
Yeah. Anyway, then also, what are your thoughts on what's going on with Israel? Iran bombed Israel the other day. And what gets me about the American media, they act like Iran, like just
out of the fucking blue.
Yeah.
It's just a random attack.
Yeah.
Existing in a vacuum in response to nothing, Iran has gone fucking buck wild. Apparently, if you read the news.
Well, in the American media, they were saying, well, that the dome that protects Israel, it really worked. I'm like, no, it didn't, because I saw people were taking, regular people post stuff all the time, especially on World Star. A lot of those missiles were striking targets in Israel. Like it was like people were like showing. I was like, it was. But my thing was, it was only a matter of time. Look, bottom line is this: Netanyahu's trying to stay in power. Netanyahu has some court cases like Donald Trump against him, and as long as he's prime minister, he stays out of jail.
Yeah, this is a war fought by governments for governments.
This is a war fought by.
And let me get this point out, because the Israeli people don't want this. They've made that clear. It is not popular. Netanyahu is not popular. The Jewish diaspora is outweighs how much it is against this than anything else. Jewish Voice for Peace, you can look them up. In fact, great resources for what's happening in Gaza are Jewish organizations that are against it. No, I know. I know, and that's what I'm getting to is now the people who thought, the Israelis are bashing the Palestinians, and my heart goes out to them, but that's where it's going to stop. It never was going to stop. And
Yeah.
and wars hurt everybody. And the Israeli people have been against this because they know they are hurt from this, and they care about the Palestinian people. Obviously, the Palestinian people know it. And now and Hezbollah is not only a terrorist organization, it is actually legitimate government in several places. And they have, I mean, I'm not saying this to you. I know you know this. But it is but they are responding to a threat. And that is what war is now. There has been attacks. You can chicken and egg it all you want, but we are in a state of war now. And this will hurt everybody. So whoever you were concerned with, given this whole situation, you now must be concerned with everything peripheral. Because we've gone from Gaza to the West Bank. We have now gone to Lebanon. Iran is now involved. This does not decrease in scale, especially not given the actors in charge of it. So know that there's no popular support for any of this fighting, but the only people in charge of the fighters are doing it. Nobody on the right or the left wants this. It is a sect of political interests that will claim Judaism. AIPAC will claim Judaism, but this is not a war between religious peoples. This is not a war between peoples. This is a government that has set its will upon a populace and is either being bolstered or challenged by other governments. We are a government that's bolstering it.
What I don't understand is Netanyahu was prime minister when October 7th happened. He ran, his campaign promise was, I keep you safe. I've kept you safe. I'm trying to figure out
political support fell for him after. Normally people, I will check the numbers on this and I will correct myself if wrong, but I believe political support waned for him, decreased for him after October 7th because he indeed is. He's still
prime minister.
Of course, yeah. I don't know.
No, but he should be. Yeah, because in countries like that, when you start losing support, people can push you out of power. He can lose his job tomorrow. He would be out of power tomorrow. Unlike us, where we have an election, Donald Trump would be president for the next 4 years, like it or not, unless we impeach and then
I assume he's still in power because he's controlling the mechanisms of government right now. I don't think there's what happened? Who was going to challenge him? Didn't that guy just get ousted? Ben Gvir? Didn't that just happen?
Well, I don't know. I don't know, nor do I care. I just know. I know there's other leaders in that country.
Yeah, I know, but I think this autocrat, this theocrat, has been in power long enough to be able to kind of fend off any, up and comers.
Well, but then
it's like, why is Putin still in charge? Same reason, man.
No, there's a difference though.
What is the difference? Because Putin manipulates the Duma in the same way that Netanyahu manipulates the Knesset.
No.
How's no?
In Israel, you have hold on. In Israel has a parliament like the UK, like Sweden.
They have the Knesset, and Russia has the Duma.
No. There's political parties in Israel that they run the gambit. Russia does not have that.
Okay, hold on.
Putin's party is the only real party. He has a couple little small parties.
Well, that's true. Hold on. There's Putin's party, and there's Putin's party. Then there's the second, and then there's the third one's made by him. But there are several parties.
You have people in Israel that you have these multiple parties. Look, at some point, the people got to take responsibility.
Nah. What?
Yeah, they do. Sorry.
Well, they have.
In a country like Israel, where you have multiple.
Do you know? Hold on. Do you know what's? Do you know how many journalists have been killed in Israel? There's no room for protest there, bro.
He controls one party, the
Likud party. Yeah.
There's Labor. There's like 6-7 parties in that country.
I don't care. What does that matter?
It matters.
No, it doesn't, dude. You can't.
You're not, I'm sorry. Israel has
Bro,
elections.
please.
In fact,
No, 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 no,
they
no,
can
no.
call it.
I don't see how any of that is relevant. I don't. It's like,
It's very relevant. It's very relevant.
how
It's
is that
very
relevant
relevant.
to what is,
If
like,
he's
you're telling me
detrimental, no, they
that
have
the people
liberal.
could vote
Yeah,
Netanyahu out of
yeah.
attacking Lebanon? How
No,
does
they
that
can.
happen?
No, you can vote Netanyahu out of power. Period. That's what I'm saying. Come
When's the
on.
next election?
They can call. That's funny. One thing, but with political systems like Israel's the
So
same
they
as it
can
is in
call
the
one, right?
Oh, most countries are not like the
No,
United
I'm
States.
aware of that.
We're not.
I'm asking you, when is this
So
election going to be held?
They can call one tomorrow.
But
They
I
can call it.
said this is a war between governments. The government
No, it's not.
is not
It's not a war
interested.
between government. It's not a war between
The
government.
people,
It's a
but
war where
I just
it's a
proved it.
war.
The people of Israel are against this
It's a war
war.
to keep
When they protest, they are killed. I don't know how that's not clear. What are you talking about?
Prison. It's
What are
the
you
war to
talking
keep
about?
No, I'm telling you, this is not a war about governments. This is a war about one man, kind of like the United States.
One man that runs what? The government.
One man. It's about one person keeping them out of prison.
Are you telling me that the
Yeah,
Israeli people are not protesting enough?
I'm telling you, the Israeli people. Well, no, apparently they're not the majority. They're not the majority. So you got a lot of people.
According to what?
And according to elections, because how is Netanyahu and the right wing constantly winning these elections?
The same way Putin is. It's
No,
the
it's not.
same
It's different than Putin.
thing.
I'm sorry. No, it's not. Putin literally controls everything. Putin.
Okay, the level of control is increased
totally
with Putin.
different. So you
It's
can't
the
keep saying
same.
like Putin.
I'm saying it's the
Putin
same
is-
tactics. I'm not
Putin
talking
is-
about the level of
yeah.
power. The
I'll
tactics
say-
that keep Netanyahu in power are the same ones employed by Putin. It's the same thing. How is it
Putin
different
does-
then? Explain the difference.
Putin is a total dictator. Netanyahu's not a dictator. We can
Ah!
call him He's not a dictator.
I didn't
He's
say
not.
that.
He's elected.
I
He's
said
elected, he gets there. Putin is an authoritarian who
the
just controls
tactics
all.
that Putin employs to get himself elected by having majority power in the Duma are the same tactics employed by Netanyahu to keep himself in power in the Knesset.
I disagree.
Well,
with that.
what's your disagreement?
Because they're two different. They're night and day.
How?
Putin really uses the media to control his people. What he's done in Russia.
Have you seen the media tour of the fucking goddamn Netanyahu administration?
But no, but in Israel you definitely have a left wing. You definitely have. But again, again it's the people. People.
It's not the people. They're fucking what?
We see
but I opened this discussion by saying that popular support was against the Israeli government in every.
Well, then get out there. Well,
they're out there. Oh my god!
But they're not. I'm sorry. Well, they're not doing enough.
That's like saying the dude standing at Tiananmen Square.
What? No, I'm sorry. No, it is the fucking people. Because in the Philippines, they rose up against Marcos. Marcos was gone. We saw it in Haiti. We see it all over the world.
You're blaming the captives.
Stand up.
This is victim blaming.
Yeah. No, whatever. They're not victims.
Are black people not fighting hard enough for civil rights? Can you tell me that?
Nope. I'm sorry. This is again. Those are night and day issues. These people, they're part of them. Look, we're talking about Israel. These people are Israelis. They look like the people running the government. They are the people. Most of the people in Israel are in line with that. That's my whole argument.
What has American protest done to change the mind of the Joe Biden administration? We have elections. We can vote him out. We have a choice in this election, and our choice in this election will have no change on our stance to Israel, right?
Again, those protests here are not popular. They're not necessarily popular. It's popular amongst that group of people. But if you're talking about poll-wise, they're a minority of people protesting in Israel. I'm sorry.
The vast majority of Americans are in favor of Thousand
Rose. The impression in Israel, majority of the people in Israel are against this. So then change the government. Get up and change the government.
You're acting as if nobody is trying. You're saying there's no progress, so there's no attempt.
No, they need to. No, what I'm saying is they need to do more.
Okay.
Do more. Do more.
Well,
Do
all right.
more.
We all got to do more then.
Yeah, they need to do more. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
You got me
That's where
sweating. My neck vein is out here.
I'm
My
sorry.
neighbor's
They're
stomping
not
around because I'm
victims.
loud. You're getting me crazy.
Palestinians are victims. Sorry, the Palestinians, the Lebanese,
Ugh.
those are your
I
victims.
agree.
They're not victims. I'm sorry.
But
I'm not a
okay,
hand, but I'm just.
how am
They
I
need to.
responsible for the American administration's funding of Israel's genocide? Because I think, by your logic, I am, because we haven't gotten rid
Well,
of.
again, when you said there was the majority of them, I'm like, okay, it's
Who's
the majority of the people. Why? How is this man still in power in a demo? Because what we're told on American media, Israel's a democracy. It's the only one in the Middle East.
Yeah, but it's not.
So how is this man? How is this man? But I'm telling you, that's what we're told
I
every
mean, it is
day.
a democracy of a kind, but I mean, it's like
It's the only one in the Middle East.
if you ignore the other ones, if you ignore literally Lebanon, Lebanon's literally
I'm sorry,
multi-glot
that's not what they say.
plurocracy. To a fault, there's too many religions in the government in Lebanon.
Yeah, no, you're right.
There's,
No,
I mean, they literally have accommodated every sect. It's quite something. But yeah, but tell me more about how Israel is fucking.
Yeah, well, I'm just letting you know. That's what the American media tells them.
Okay,
That's
but
what
when
that's what men who
this
look
is
like
what you
tell
do to
them.
me. This is what you do to me. You take the you seamlessly walk into the devil's advocacy, and it
I sure
fucking
do. I do it all the time.
and it shoots me up like a chimney. I'm sweaty now. I'm gonna have to double up on the meds.
We needed to make this. We got it. We had to do something with this episode.
Yeah, we were having way too much fun. God damn it! You got me sweating in this fucking thing. You son of a... Look at the neck veins.
I do this in class too.
My voice got higher.
I just
Terrible.
throw stuff. I just throw a bomb.
I have PTSD. You can't throw bombs at me, Ken. That's fucked
right
up,
off the
man.
Oh, hey, did you shave?
Huh? Oh, I trimmed it up, and I got a ponytail going back there.
Oh, did you? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's funny.
I'm trying to glow
I
up.
was like, it's.
I'm gonna look good by the time I'm 50, man. I'm gonna look nice.
Oh yeah, there you go. How old are you?
41.
Okay, yeah, you got 9 years.
I got 9 years to figure it out.
If we're doing this in 9 years, you probably be really gray and old because I'm stretched.
Man, if we're doing this in 9 years, there's still a country to do it in, so hooray.
Oh, I know. Well, yeah, because we're believing Kamala Harris will win and Donald Trump will go away with.
Well, if Donald Trump wins, we just got to switch to right-wing buffoonery, and make all that.
Yeah.
I'll be like, hey, Peter Thiel, whatever the fuck they say. I don't even want to say it as a joke.
It'll be too late, dude. They're gonna already come out.
There'll be another one. There'll be another one behind them. But I don't think we're gonna run out. We're only making more billionaires, which is exciting for everybody, right? You're next, America. You're the next billionaire. Believe it. Believe it.
Yeah, right. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my
Anyway,
God.
man, I think we are good for today. That's all I got.
I have to take a shower now. Me too. Yeah, this has been the best one yet.
Oh yeah. Well, I think this has been the best segment of this one. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I got my eye on you now. See, now I'm gonna see your shenanigans. I'm gonna be ready. I'm gonna be like, you don't believe that.
No. I was just sitting there saying what we hear on the news all the time. I'm like, this is stuff I hear on the news all the time. That's what they say.
Well, now I know what I would sound like if I went on the news. It would not go well. I'd be all
that's
neck
what
veins.
Well, I do listen to the news and I watch the news because I have to know my students are watching where they're getting their
Right.
information.
So
yeah, but
I
anyway.
gotta tell you, we were talking on the phone before, and my heart goes out to you because I was saying, I was like, all I got this week is the VP debate because I took a mental health break on politics, and you really shamed me unintentionally. You were like, oh, that must be nice. I got to do this for a job, and I'm a black man in America. I can't be not paying attention. I was like, all right. I'm sorry about my privilege. I'm sorry.
Well, that's not what I was saying. I was like, dude, my job calls me to be. I don't get a day off unless it's Christmas.
I know, but you're ruining my story with the truth, so. Yeah.
I'm a black man. I never get a vacation. That's that white privilege you have.
Son of a bitch. I love it.
It must be nice. That
Must
privilege
be
you can
nice.
take
Be draped in that velvety privilege. It is nice, though. It is nice. No,
I'm sure it is. I'm glad you had this time off. But anyway, man, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
I am good.
I love you.
This was fun.
Very fun.
You funny.
We'll see
you next week, my man.
Yeah, you will.